disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's happening?
Going on?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Mondays, you've got Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesdays is CTE with Chris Los and Travis. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Mike, Joe, and Angel. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Fellas, it's showtime. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? You know what? Nice, easy week this week, and celebrated my wife's birthday yesterday. We had a good time. She turned 40. She don't mind me saying that, so don't get on me about it. Trust me, I've had this conversation with a lot of people. She's a different person, so okay. What can I say? She's fabulous and 40. That's okay. My weekend. It's all good.
Where'd you guys go?
So me, I like to make a big production, but she said no surprise parties, no nothing. So we just kind of did like the family thing. She wants to go. She's an art teacher, so she wants to go to Columbus, Ohio on Wednesday. And there's an interactive art installation, I guess, that she's been really dying to go to. So it's a 3.5 hour drive.
Uh-huh.
So we're all going to go do that with her. Other than that, her mom came over and she set up the yard with a nice little, some signs, said, "Holy cow, she's 40." And we put some cows and, just silly stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the kids and I, we all got a little painting kit from Plymouth. And you follow the video, and we painted her some paintings, and she's gonna put them up on the wall all together. So she likes that kind of stuff more than she's got jewelry, she's got flowers, she likes all that stuff. But when you do the homemade stuff like that, she really enjoys that.
Yeah, I want to go down there. I used to go to Columbus all the time because that used to be part of my territory with the old job I had. I had Michigan and Ohio, so I used to go down to Columbus pretty often.
Okay.
And one of the places I wanted to go to when I was down there, I never got a chance to, but I wanted to go to the Billy Ireland Museum.
Okay.
It has a lot of original comic strips there. So you can go see the ones that Charles Schultz did or Jim Davis, and I hear they're huge. So they pull it out and they have the white gloves on their hands when they pull it out and lay it down in front of you. So one day I'm gonna make a trip down there and go see that. So I like that type of stuff.
That sounds cool. That sounds real cool.
Yeah. One of the things also last week, you told me that you were going to hell. How was hell?
Oh yeah, we went to so that's another thing, man. My wife's
Look at
very okay. For those who don't know, in Michigan, there's literally a very, very, very small town. It's not even a mile long called Hell. It's Hell, Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, that's what it's called. It's just a little tourist attraction. A couple of restaurants, an ice cream parlor.
Y'all need Jesus. Y'all
a mini putt, and it's a tourist attraction. It's about 40 minutes from my house. So she just all of a sudden popped up and said, "Hey, let's all go to Hell." And
really? It's 40 minutes from your house?
Yeah, it's about 40-minute drive. It wasn't bad. But of course, so on our way back, we had a storm right behind us.
Right.
It's been, Michigan been crazy. It's been crazy hot, and there's been a storm every other day.
Yep, and I'm happy because I haven't had to really water my lawn, so I get to save some money,
I will say that, and my parents' lake needed the water because it's been pretty low.
Mm-hmm. They do it pretty big in Hell around Halloween time, right?
That's the one thing I asked, and I said, we should come back for Halloween because they said they do. They should. I mean, it's so gimmicky.
Yeah, I've seen it on the news. So? Yeah, I've seen it on the news. That's how I knew that they do it up pretty big.
With a name like that, they must monetize like crazy.
Oh
Got
yeah,
to. Yeah.
the ice cream parlor is in the middle of two restaurants there, and the restaurants it's Hell's Saloon and I can't remember what the other one, but that's where we had lunch. And yeah, they have T-shirts, very creative T-shirts, about 40 different types of T-shirts, all hell related.
Did they ever explain why that is the name of that town? Like, is there anything? Like, why would they name that?
There, you know what? I think I took a picture of something, and it was explaining like the governor or the mayor of the town, and it was almost. I think it was more. It was kind of a gimmick. Like they something like that. I forget exactly. They gave an explanation. I'm sure it's somewhere on Google. There's something there, but yeah, it's very interesting.
You would think that would be somewhere in the South. That city would be down somewhere in the South, just because it's hot.
Oh yeah, right.
You know, whether it's in Arizona, that'd probably be a good place to have hell. Nevada, that would be a good place to have hell. You
would think Los Angeles. You would think so.
Why Los Angeles? Because all the thugs and gangsters. That's what you're saying, Angel. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Now you're trying to listen. I am not like Joe. You will not catch me on a whole entire. You know it's crazy when I look back and we post the little clips from our show. Yeah. I really be sitting here thinking like, yo, Joe really be. If you did not know Joe, you would hate him. Like,
why would you say that?
You would hate Joe because he don't like vegans. He don't like Russians. Like he like.
I never said I didn't like any of them. I point out what I point out, and I stick by it. I don't say nothing unless I stick by it. I don't hate vegans. Listen, I said Terry Silver. That's not his crowd, and it's not. Tell me it ain't. That's all I said. Okay, maybe one day in Cobra Kai season 12, Terry Silver's going to find God, and he's going to really become a vegan. And then I'll talk about that. But I never said anything about hating vegans. I was just pointing out what I pointed out. That's all.
And we got a month. We got a month before that starts. Cobra Kai season 5. We got a month. Actually, I think it starts September 9th. So we got about a month.
I really think we should not binge watch it. We should go like episodes or like first 3 episodes, next 3 episodes. I really think we should.
Yeah, I agree with that because
last time
we do it, we miss a lot of stuff when we just do it in one episode when we just covered the whole season.
And it's we miss so much. It's too good to leave it out. And there's so many questions we have that I think if we just space them out like that, I think it'll be good.
We can do that for the next season. I'm fine with that. That's cool. Angel, how's everything been going with you, man?
It was good, man. I literally just got back today, and then got back home and went straight into teaching my karate classes. So I'm a little tired, but it was good. I was on vacation. Had a good vacation.
Oh, you didn't compete? You didn't compete this weekend?
No. I was on vacation, and I got the itch on Friday. Everyone was calling me saying, "Where are you?" Because I guess I was registered without me knowing. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? They're like, yo, you're registered for open weight. Are you doing it or not? And I'm like, I'm not even in the state. Like, what are y'all talking about? I'm like 3 hours away from Washington, D.C. So they're like, all right, so that's a no. I'm like, well, duh. So then after that, I watched all the videos and I was like, man, do I really want to sit here and spend another day on vacation knowing it's only 2.5 hours and I can go compete and be back home within the same day. So I went on Saturday and competed. Yeah. So I went on Saturday. I got the approval. To go. So I was
trying to put you on blast, but I was like,
no.
Did you get permission for that?
Before I even finished the question, it was like a go ahead, but be back before 7. And I was like, gotcha. So went in. I ended up getting second in my division to the guy who ended up winning the whole entire thing. And then, so I did that, competed, and came back within the same day.
That's probably the best decision that you made,
Oh yeah,
because that's why I wasn't on SCS anymore. I didn't want to go to a tournament. My uncle was like, come to the tournament. I was like, I'm not coming. I'm not
Yeah.
coming. He was like, either you're going to be at the tournament or your gear. You got to send the gear back. And I was like, all right. I gave Ski the gear. Like, here you go. Take that back.
Yeah, nah, man.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good.
It's. I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna be honest. I went into my vacation not going. I wasn't gonna go. And to be honest with you, I hurt my back the week before, so like I didn't really think I can like actually like compete. But then I ended up feeling good, and then just seeing it, and I was just like, man, I got that itch way too much. Like I can't do it. Like I have to go. But I tell you what, man, for real, I envy people sometimes that can actually sit back and not go to a tournament. I think in a way, man, you also need that. You need some time to just like relax, and because my whole summer has been competing. This is how crazy I am. I just found out about a tournament yesterday, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna go to that tournament now. And it's this Sunday, and I was not planning on going, so it's just weird, But
are you watching a tournament now?
No. That's it, man. I like to, I put it on the background for us. I'll lower it. My bad.
When do you go back to work?
I think I go back in like 2.5 weeks, actually, like the 22nd, I think.
The 22nd. Okay, so you're a week ahead of because my wife goes.
A lot of people start
September.
yeah. So it's weird. In Virginia, everyone starts on Tuesday.
I know people that started already in like Florida.
Yeah, Florida, I think, starts in a couple of days. Like different places start in different times. But
that's so weird to me. That's so weird to me because we normally went back.
But
to school in August,
But they usually end earlier.
Yeah.
Usually, we start like the week before Labor Day, and then we end like the second week or third week of June. So
okay.
It was like a toss-up. It all comes up to the same amount of time.
To me, it seems like schools. I don't know. What do you think, Joe? To me, it seems like the schools in Michigan are starting to stay in school a little bit longer than normal.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Because I remember being out of school. I know at least by the second week of June we were out of school. And now it seems like they're getting out later and later here.
There's been a push for the last couple of years for year round. Some schools do year round, like Milford. I forget what else. There's a couple of school districts that do the year round system.
Yeah, I have an old coworker whose daughter she lived in Milwaukee, and she went to school year round. I mean, it would be like a month off if she would go for a little while and then have a month off. Then go a little while and a month off.
Yeah, they just get more breaks, but they're constantly in school.
Yeah, I don't know if I would like that. I don't know.
I don't like it as a parent.
Right. It's like you're never. You need that break from school for the kids.
I agree.
All right, so that was pretty much it for you, Angel, huh? Your weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Weekend. Okay.
Yeah, that was it, man. I honestly felt good to kind of just chill out for once, man.
Okay. All right. My week has been pretty busy with work and the dojo, and just being around here at the house. Things are picking up. I'm already in line to get a promotion at work.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my state's doing good, man. Michigan's doing good, man. They increased in sales. The whole state has increased in sales by 10%. So, the big wigs were pretty impressed by that. So I got a couple of shout outs coming to some of the calls that we had. And I had to do a presentation today. And I'm normally not nervous about doing presentations, but we had a national meeting via Zoom. And I had to do a little presentation. I did it. But I was nervous when I did it. That was the first time being nervous.
Yo, good for you, bro. Good for you, man. For real. That's big, bro. That's huge. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, man. So I got a couple of trips I got coming up. Going to DC in a couple of weeks, and then going out to California.
This is all for work or no?
Well, DC, my cousin is retiring from I think the Air Force or Navy. I never can remember which one she's in. So she's retiring. Navy. Thanks a lot, cuz. We got a new. Let me give my cousin a shout out. That's what we talk about. That's what Travis wanted, cuz. That's what we wanted.
That's what I'm talking about.
Trav brought my cousin on, and he is now the producer of our show right now. So he's running the boards, and he just hooked me up. Thanks a lot, cuz. Yeah, he was quick with that, wasn't it? So she's retiring from the Navy. So I'm going to go out there to DC. I'm going to drive. I'm not flying. I'm not messing around with the airlines right now.
I don't blame you.
So I'm going to fly. I'm going to drive out there for that. And then 2 weeks after that, I'm going to go to California. And now I'm not driving to California. I'm definitely flying out there. Nah, ain't no way in hell. I wouldn't trust myself to drive to California. Driving through Nevada? Nah. That's not going to happen. Nah, I'm not driving through the desert. That's not going to happen. So I got to go out to California for that. That's going to be even though it's a work trip, it's going to be fun. Anytime I have to go out to California for work. It's always a good time. So that's been pretty good, man. Dojo has been, still doing this thing. We constantly get new students every weekend. I'm signing up new students. So that's going good. Me and Melissa been having fun, hanging out. Yesterday we had a little family day, of course, Sundays. So Champ was here, DJ was here, her daughter DJ was here. We just hung around, and, just hung out. They played a little trick on me. Melissa told me that there was a mouse in the cupboard, and I'm like, oh, mouse in the cupboard. I didn't want Champ to see. I'm like, if Champ see, he gonna go back talking to his mama and his grandmother, and I'm like, I don't want that. So I was like, all right, what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna distract him. I'm gonna take him outside. I told her, I was like, I'm gonna take him outside. You get the mouse and throw the mouse away.
You told her to get the mouse. You told her to get the mouse. Oh no, you wild, bro.
Yeah, I told her. I told her to put it in the box. Like, put it in the box and I'll take it outside. I'll throw it away. So she was like, okay. I took Champ outside. I'm outside with him for a little bit. I come back in. I'm like, give it here. And she was like, no, it's still in the cupboard. I ain't touching it. I was like, what? You ain't touching it? She was like, nah. She's like, you get it. I'm like, all right, fine. Give me a box. I get the box. I was like, no, you keep Champ distracted then. I opened the cupboard. Yeah, it was a mouse. It was definitely a mouse in the cupboard. It was a mouse. A computer mouse. They put a computer mouse in the cupboard. I'm like, damn, come on now. So yeah, they got me. I'm gonna get her back. I ain't gonna tell her when, but I'm gonna get her back. So yeah, man. Other than that, man, we just been chilling, watching movies, hanging out, doing our thing, Yep. Y'all ready? Talk about this movie?
Yeah.
Ip Man 2. First off, what you guys think?
I did not like this one.
Interesting. Why didn't you like it?
It got away from like the realistic fighting that made us like the first one. More theatrics in this one. I didn't like it.
Now, so you didn't like the production of it, but did you like the story?
Story was good. Yes, story was good. I just didn't like all like.
I'm the opposite. The fighting was okay. It was a little ridiculous. I'll give them that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. That's just what threw me
I
off.
thought the story at the beginning, the story was all over the place, and then the end was Rocky IV.
Yes, it definitely was. It definitely was.
The end was Rocky IV.
Yep.
I mean, all we needed was living in America. I mean, honestly,
right.
I was dying. I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? This is Rocky IV.
Right. And they almost gave you kind of that. I mean, with, Ip Man's brother being shot in the head, he was, he wasn't the same. So he could have been Apollo if they would have just killed him off. That would have been Apollo, Yeah, it was. It kind of seemed like I didn't even look to see if there was a different writer of this movie, but it seemed like it was a different writer. I still enjoyed the movie though.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying. I mean, it was still better than most of the karate movies we've seen, but
this movie though, I did not believe this was a true story at all. There's no way I believe
that's my next thing. I was gonna okay, great, thank you. So it was written by Edmund Wong. I want to know if this was true, if this was a true story, and if the boxer that they fought
I don't
If
believe
that
any
was
of it
real.
was true.
You
I don't
don't?
believe any. I don't. Me
I don't
personally,
know,
I haven't
man.
even looked. I haven't looked it up, but I don't believe any
If
of
it
this
is,
was real.
it's a very loose rendition.
I
Yeah,
don't
man.
know, man. I'm really
Well,
interested to see if it was real because Muhammad Ali fought a wrestler, so I don't know. Maybe someone could have went over there. Maybe not
well,
been a well-known boxer, but it could have been someone.
There's no this kind of stuff did happen because if you watch the movie Fearless with Jet Li, it's a similar thing.
Well,
Jet
yeah,
Li's character
I was gonna
starts
say,
fighting all different Americans trying to defend Chinese boxing, as they called it, but kung fu more or less.
yeah,
And that was loosely based on a real story.
I was actually gonna say, and I could believe like this did happen also in the past because I don't know if you guys like, Gene, I've seen this in like the UFC Fight Pass shows. Like the person who came up with like Kyokushin karate, he would send people over to Thailand to fight Muay Thai fighters to see like what's better, karate or Muay Thai. So like these types of things did happen. I just want to know who the boxer was. That's all. That's just that's what I want to know.
If I believe that he was walking around Hong Kong having to find a place to teach, looking for. I believe that could have happened.
I mean, that was similar to Bruce Lee.
Right.
Yeah.
And him having to fight in order to teach, I can see that happening also. I can even see him fighting a boxer. But it's just something about this. Like, I don't think this story happened the way that they're portraying it to happen. I don't know. It's just a feeling I have. The boxer in the movie was ridiculous to me.
Unbelievably ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, who was he over there to fight in the first place?
Because I wish I knew.
Because they made it seem like he was there to fight someone. Because everybody was going to the fights.
Another American.
Yeah, that's what it made it seem like. I just thought it was just going to be a boxing fight that these people that were in Hong Kong were going to go watch. But then we get there, and he starts insulting, and we are really just jumping toward the end of the movie real quick.
Because there was nothing in the beginning.
No, there was enough in the beginning.
There's some stuff in the beginning, man.
It wasn't action, bro.
No, but there was substance.
Wait a minute. What about Angel? What about the part where, he had to go get his student who beat up this other group, and they had conflict right there. That was something, right?
Okay.
I mean, that was ridiculous. Like, they had this guy. They had
you lost me. You lost me when you were fighting on a damn table. That's when you lost me.
Well, yeah, that's
okay. But you know what? I knew it was going to go one way or another. To me, that was unique. It got ridiculous towards the end when they were flying around and everything. But to me, that was unique, and I seen that scene a few times even before I saw the movie.
Let's explain. Joe, go ahead and explain to the listeners what we're talking about.
Okay, real quick. The beginning of this movie, it literally takes part where the last one left off. So he's in Hong Kong now. He's got a building on a roof, and he's looking for students. And every day he goes there. One of the ladies that's in the building, she comes up. Any students? He says no. He helps her with her laundry. Finally, a gentleman shows up talking about kung fu and asks him, if he'll fight him. And he says, well, I need you to pay your dues first. The guy says, if you beat me in a fight, I'll pay your dues. I'll pay your fees. So, of course, they fight. Hitman whoops him. Then he goes and gets two other people. They fight him. He whoops them, and they all are now his students. And this is kind of where his whole school finally comes together.
Okay, hold on one second, Joe. So you're right. I was confused at first because I'm like, man, they're still broke. They're still poor. This is like a year later, and they had nothing. I wonder where they got money to find a place, because it seemed like they didn't have, anything at all. They were always behind on their rents.
Yep.
And
squandering for food and water.
Yeah. So it was lucky for him that he got these guys to be students. He had been trying to find students, and
was it because they even when he got students, they didn't pay him?
Well, some of them did.
Barely.
Yeah.
like, hey, half or less than half. And even his wife was like, get some money, Jesus. And he
Right.
was like, oh, it's hard. I'm like, man, for someone that can whoop everyone's ass, you need to be like, hey, I'm not teaching you a damn thing, and I'm gonna punch you around if you don't start paying.
If I was him, I would have been a bounty hunter. I would have been like Dog, the bounty hunter. Like, who's gonna beat up Ip Man? You know?
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
You just made a whole nother movie series. Kung
Ip
Fu
Man, the
bounty
bounty
hunting.
Right.
Nice.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. So I mean, and so he's just loving being a teacher, which I get. But when you have a wife who's pregnant, by the way, and a son at home, like you got to take care of your family, and if you can fulfill your need with your passion, which for him was obviously kung fu, that's fine. But you can't just be teaching for free because you love to do it. Like, you got to take care of your family, man. So that kind of ticked me off a little bit. But anyhow, so then we talking his original first student runs into a couple of guys while he's posting, what was it, like a flyer about the classes. And so they say, we'll make it fair. We'll go one-on-one. Well, he beats the guy one-on-one, and the other two jump in and beat his ass. And then they hold him captive and send someone to go tell his master, Ip Man, that he's got to come get his student and bring some money.
Right.
What kind of crap is that?
It was a ransom. That's what it was.
Whatever, man.
The part was crazy to me is they kept them in a box of water.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That would have been scary too.
And then when he shows up, did he show up at Master Young's what was that, the other master, main one?
I don't remember his name, but hold on.
Master Hung? Master Hung?
Like
that?
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Hung. Did they show up at his dojo? Or was that later?
He comes there to the fight.
Oh,
because
yeah,
the whole town, it seemed like the whole town was fighting him. Ip Man and his student. That didn't seem made up to you? No, they're fighting everybody.
It was very odd.
Yeah.
So basically this whole town,
and then when somebody else shows
martial
up,
artists, this whole town of martial artists is kind of run like gangster style, like mob style. Like, okay, first you got to fight to get in, then you got to pay your dues so you can get protection to even teach. And it's
that made no sense.
It makes sense if you're the top dog in town. And I mean, he wasn't being a jerk. He was spreading the wealth. He was paying his people. But yeah, I mean, for Ip Man, it sucked because he just wanted to come and teach and try to, make a living with his family. But then he really had to keep proving himself. Anyhow, so he ends up being told basically if he wants to teach, he's got to come to this meeting of the masters and prove himself, which is where we come to the fight on the table. So he's in a room full of 12 other masters, maybe 10 other masters, something like that.
Oh, hold on, Joe. Somebody else showed up in that scene.
Oh, yeah, from the first movie.
Yeah, what did you think when you saw him? Now, I have his name here now. I don't think we knew his name in the last movie. In this movie, his name is Cam Shan Chow.
Yeah, and he shows up and he's made a better life for himself. And him and Ip Man are friends, but he's deaf in one ear because Ip Man smacked him in the ear with that pole.
Right. So he's deaf in one ear.
Yep. But was he he wasn't a master himself, was he?
No. But this movie was dubbed. And as I'm watching the movie, I look at Melissa and I said, they gave him a black voice. Like, as a black guy voicing him. Did you guys peep that out? I was like, wait a minute, this is a black guy. I know a black guy's voice when I hear one. So it was kind of throwing me off, but it was cool. It was still cool.
Oh yeah, the whole dubbing thing always throws things off because obviously their voices aren't even matching what they're saying.
Right. Now go ahead, Joe. So Master Hong does show up after all this fighting, and when he shows up, everything pretty much stops. And he pretty much asked Itman, like, oh, who told you you could teach? You didn't get permission for us. That would suck. Could you imagine that? Like having to talk to someone before you can do what you do. Like, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, I wouldn't want a council of Michigan martial artists to try and come check me.
I know, right?
I would laugh, honestly. I probably would laugh.
Y'all do what you did last week. Just be like, hey, come on down to fight nights over here. Well, we can have all the discussions we want.
Well, that's the problem because, would I do something like that in my prime? Sure, because I'm stupid. But now, I'm not doing that now.
Yeah. I kick rocks. What are you doing?
Exactly. I'm just saying, man. Like, I just want to do what I love and make a buck, man. Leave me alone.
Right. So Itman does have to go before these guys, these masters in Hong Kong, and fight. And this is the part we were talking about was a little bit ridiculous because they put him on a table and he cannot fall off the table
before the incense runs out.
Right. Now this guy, Master Hung, he was a little crooked also. But he was crooked, but also getting ripped off at the same time because he was helping put together this boxing event in Hong Kong, but he kept asking how much he was getting paid, and it seemed like these guys were British. I believe they were British. The British military, they really weren't trying to pay him, and him and his people were doing all of the work, putting this fight together.
That was crap. I mean, honestly, and they just kept dogging him. And then when he talked about walking away, they would be like, okay, well, you'll never work again. Well, I don't want to work for you if you're not going to pay me anyway, so bye.
Right. But Master Hong, he seemed like he was the main guy. He seemed like he was the leader out of all of the masters here in Hong Kong.
Well, he was the one facilitating everything, and he was running the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed to be, I mean, initially he seemed to be the best. But I believe, honestly, Itman was better than him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why at the end, I had a big problem with the boxing match.
Oh, you know what? You're right. That was Rocky IV because instead of putting Apollo's death at the beginning of the movie, they put it toward the end of the movie. Yeah. And he was the Apollo.
Yeah.
that's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
I know. I'm just laughing because you said he was the Apollo.
Okay. So here's the thing. So we got this fight on a table. He fights all the masters. The last one he fights is Master Hung. And like I said, it got ridiculous. The table broke in half. They both were on chairs. He ended up being able to teach. But that meant nothing because the first day that he goes to start teaching, another school comes and attacks his people, and he gets kicked out of his building.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
those were Master Hong's kids. Those are his people. So what happened was,
do you think he sent them there, or do you think they just went there on their own?
No, he did because Master Hong. Remember, Master Hong said, well, you got to pay us now. I think was it $100 a month?
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah, and I was like, I'm not paying you guys. So it was like, well, you're gonna have trouble. He told him like, you're gonna have trouble then if you're not gonna pay. So then his students end up showing up at Ipman school, and his students, Hung students, challenges Ipman students. And a wild brawl breaks out in the whole neighborhood, and it just tears up everything. And because of that fight, they get kicked out of their space for training, which sucks. So, and Hung pretty much said, like, I told you he was gonna have trouble, So Imam ends up going back and talking to him, and telling him like, I'm still not paying you, Okay.
Honestly, he should have just challenged Hung and took all his students like they did back in the day.
Yeah, well, he probably didn't because they kind of just fought on the table. You mean like on the ground, like where we could have a real fight?
Yeah, I think he could have handled them just fine.
Yeah. Hung had a lot of kids too. Did you see that?
Yeah, he had like 6 or 7.
Yeah, and one boy. They were all girls and one boy.
Yep. Hung was getting down. He just kicking ass, taking names, and then going home and put it down.
Kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, so then we got to the part where we got this Hong's got tickets for what they call it, Western boxing.
Yes.
And
yeah, so
basically
that's why
American boxing.
right.
And
So
they
that's
go
why
to
I was
this
thinking.
event. Yeah. So they show up at this event and his people and him are running it. But like you said, they don't want to pay him. And then they were doing a kung fu demonstration, and the main boxer basically saw the demonstration and said, "What is this, dancing?" And they're like, "No, it's Chinese boxing." And he said, "This is boxing? I'll box these people right now." And so he started kicking the crap out of a bunch of people, and that's when Master Hung decided, "Hey, I'm going to show you what's really up." And they basically had an exhibition, and it got really bad.
Yeah,
That was an exhibition. Get the fuck out of here. That was a fight. An exhibition. You stopped that fight.
Taylor the Twister Miller was the boxing name. They just kept calling him the Twister, but apparently it's Taylor the Twister Miller.
Yeah, they did.
I just wonder if there was.
That sounds like it would be a real boxing name.
Yeah, it does.
Anyhow, that guy, he was basically bullying some of these nobodies until Master Hung come in, and Master Hung, I mean, he definitely held his own.
He seemed like he was on cocaine, man. He seemed he seemed really ridiculous. The character seemed ridiculous. It was almost like Terry Silver was in the Karate Kid 3. Just over the top ridiculous.
Tell me this. So I'm fighting you, and I got boxing gloves on, and you don't.
I was going to bring this up. I was going to bring that up.
How does that make sense that you're doing more damage to me?
None. I don't understand why the boxer even had the gloves on. If he noticed that they didn't have it on, like, why didn't he just keep his off?
I don't know. He didn't want to hurt his pretty little hands. I don't know. That part was messy to me. And then like Master Hong was holding his own, but didn't seem to be doing any damage. That made no sense.
Right.
Like he was around the same size as the guy. Like size-wise, they were both pretty much the same size. And the only thing that the biggest problem he had was he was obviously had some kind of sickness or just old age.
No, he had asthma.
So after, 3 or 4 rounds, he was out of steam.
Mm-hmm.
Or
and he was old.
Or he ain't conditioned to do multiple rounds because he's too busy worried about fighting to the end of a damn inset. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. I'm just saying.
Possible.
That's all I'm saying.
When I was watching the fight, it made me think about something that I brought up last week when I was asking you guys, how did you think Kung Fu would do against normal street fight? And watching this made Kung Fu look bad in my opinion. Because the boxer pretty much was beating them up. He beat up all of the Kung Fu guys that were in there doing the demonstration got beat up. Those guys got beat up. Then he beat up Master Hung. He got beat. He didn't just get beat up. He got killed. Honestly.
Yeah. I was about to say, but like, I mean, that's what beat up is. Then Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, and that's the part that I got it in Rocky what Apollo was trying to prove. I'll never. Master Hung, man, he had all them kids to take care of and a wife. Like, you gotta just suck up your pride and move on, man. Stay down.
Well, that's a big thing over there, and probably during this time, like it's all about. That's like
think about black belt. Think about black belt.
I get it, but dang,
it's the same thing.
Because this is what was happening. Like he was hitting the Twister before, like 3-4 times, but he was just taking it and bullying through him, and then hitting him harder, and eventually just kind of took over, and it was just lights out.
Yeah, and I mean, Imman tried to stop the fight a couple times, and he stopped him from stopping the fight. He was going to throw the towel in.
Oh, right. That's the part right there. I go, oh, this is about to be Rocky 4. Right there, I'm like, I guarantee. And then sure enough, they just fell right into it.
Oh, I knew it as soon as he decided to fight. I'm like, this old man cannot fight this guy. So I knew he was dying in. Melissa even said it. She was watching it with me. She was like, oh, he's going to die.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of seen it coming. But yeah, like you said, Joe, like I have no idea why he kept those gloves on when he was.
It made no sense to me. And then, so of course, after this, the Chinese and Japanese write a story making Twista look like a bully. They said he came over, he bullied the Chinese and bullied Master Hong, and so it made him look really bad and gave him a bad rep, which I didn't think he seemed to care about, but apparently he did, because then they turned around and said that it was a friendly exhibition and the old man couldn't handle Western boxing. So of course there was two sides telling two different stories, which was interesting to me. Like, why would he care? Because even after he tried to tell it from a different story, then he just started talking crap like he was going to go kill the next guy that wants to fight him. He's talking about he'll fight anybody, and then of course that's when Ip Man decides because nobody else was going to challenge him.
No.
So Ip Man decides to challenge him. It's basically like he's going to take him out, and the whole town gets behind him. Finally. What? You know what I'm saying? Like, this whole town's kind of been down on him the whole time, and now his landlady's moving his wife in so he can train. And
that was weird.
She's not even talking about, because she wanted him to beat this man down.
But why didn't she just let them stay in their house? That's what I didn't get.
Because the wife said to the son, she said, "Dad's training is going to be too much for the new baby."
I guess
he can't be hitting that wooden whatever that blocking
the Wing Chun dummy, the wooden dummy.
Yeah, is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
I always thought it was kind of cool, but he can't be doing that all night.
I didn't even think about him training there at the house. Okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah,
well, he couldn't train anywhere else because his school got shut down. So
no,
I got behind him.
Yeah, since the whole town was getting behind him, I thought his friend would have gave him back his space so he could train to fight. You know,
that's true. I didn't think about that. That would have been nice. Or I mean, no, I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say he could go train at Master Hong's.
Oh yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, he's not using it anymore.
Master Hong or Cam. Whatever his name is, there was a bunch of dojos around he could have went and trained at,
So then we get to the fight, and I don't know. I thought this fight, I knew they were going to make it competitive, but I kind of thought it was going to go differently.
Honestly, Emma got beat up the whole fight, honestly.
Yes. Which I thought, I mean, was the weight difference that much?
It does make a difference. It does make a difference. Yeah,
I agree. But how much of the weight difference do you think there was between Ip
Man? He looked like a light heavyweight. No,
I'm saying between Hong.
I would say about 15 to 20 pounds.
Yeah,
because I'm saying Master Hong was holding his own.
Yeah.
Where for Ip Man was getting beat up off the get.
I mean, Ip Man looked like he was a lightweight and fighting a light heavyweight.
Yeah, Master Hong was not a lightweight. Master Hong wasn't a lightweight.
That's what I'm trying to say, because in my opinion, Hong held his own pretty much until he ran out of gas. I mean, Ip Man to me was better than Hong, so it made no sense to me that he wouldn't come out and kind of pick up where Hong left off, and he definitely had more stamina. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was just going to be like one of those, a longer fight, trading blows, but instead, like, they let Ip Man get beat up pretty bad right off the bat.
Yeah. The boxer probably, Twister, he probably would have won if he didn't have his gloves on.
Honestly, you're probably right.
Yeah, because Ip Man was getting beat bad. There's no way he would have been able to come back from that.
To make matters worse, they took away his kicks in the third round.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
he
stupid.
Well, I mean, this was all being run by the British, government, the military, whatever.
Okay, but they had no problem when Master Hong was kicking.
No, because I guess they assumed that Ip Man's kicks were starting to get the best of Twister.
Well, I'm just
so
saying,
they were trying. They basically were trying to cheat. That's basically what they were trying to do.
Yeah. Well, let him kick. Go ahead and kick.
Yeah, right, exactly. But he doesn't know how to kick, because he would say, I'm a boxer, So.
That's his own problem. So needless to say, the fight drags on a little bit, but eventually Ip Man comes out on top. And then he gives the speech at the end, just like Rocky.
Just like Rocky.
Yep.
Just like
we're all people, we're all the same, blah blah blah. I was waiting for yo Adrian.
Yeah. I was waiting. Or what did he said to my son, hope you in bed sleeping. So I was expecting.
I got a question for you guys. And it's about the guy that was helping Master Hung. Now, there was another little chubby guy walking around. He seemed like he was somebody with some power and authority. And originally, I thought he was a police officer. I thought he worked for the police. But then he kind of seemed like he switched and became a mobster. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel like he was like a governor, maybe a mayor or something like that.
Yeah,
and he was definitely
because he was like the middle guy between. He was working with the British people and also Master Hung, and he was telling Master Hung like, "Calm down, don't worry, I'm going to negotiate how much you're going to get paid, this, that, and the other." But originally, like Ip Man got arrested because of that first fight at the beginning of the movie, and when he was there, and he said that we're going to arrest you. And I even think he showed him some handcuffs or something, didn't he? Did he pull out some handcuffs? So I thought he was a police officer.
I thought he was.
Yeah, but then later on, as the movie was going on, he kind of seemed like he was a mobster. Remember, like the newspaper wrote a bad story about the boxer, and he shows up because it pissed off the boxer in his camp. It pissed off Twister in his camp, and then he shows up to the newspaper and said, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you writing? Like, you don't even know what you're supposed to be writing." And then he told him, "I'm going to give you the real story of what's going on."
Yep.
So he kind of switched teams. It seemed like
only when they started disrespecting him.
Yeah. Because actually, they ended up taking the. So the guy that was running the newspaper was also the same guy that gave Ip Man his dojo. Let him rent it. So they ended up getting him and taking him and beating him up, and they were going to kill him because this guy said, "I'll take care of it. I know how to take care of it." But he actually let him go. And he goes right back to the newspaper. He wasn't a scared person. It didn't matter that he just got slapped around and beat up. He went right back to work and was still going to write whatever he wanted to write. So,
as he should.
Yeah. And like I said, I cannot remember the name of that guy. Of this police officer / that's his name, Fatso. That was his name, Fatso.
Seriously?
I thought that's what they were just calling him just because he looked fat. I don't know.
Really... what? That's his name then.
That was his name. I remember seeing that on the screen. I do remember that. And as I'm looking here on Wikipedia, I just saw it. So yeah, and it says that he is a police officer. He's a senior police officer under the Superintendent Wallace.
So maybe he was paid off by the.
He's helping him manage his protection racket in Hong Kong. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and he switched sides because he was tired of Wallace, who was the guy who put on this boxing fight exhibition.
Yep.
For the British military. So this guy was acting. At first, he was acting like a businessman. Then we see him later. Thanks a lot, Drew. You got it too. You got it on here too. He was putting this together, but then we see later that he has superiors also.
Yes. And
then we see him in his normal military outfit when he's talking to his superiors. So that was a little interesting.
What'd you think about the very end?
That's what I was about to bring up, man. That was another thing that I don't think really happened.
No, that was for fun. Come on.
Yeah, it has to be.
That was for fun.
Yeah, because like Bruce Lee didn't even know his name was Bruce Lee at that time.
No.
And he shows up and says, "I'm Bruce Lee."
Where did they find that kid though? He looked and sounded just like him. He did the little nose thing and everything.
Yeah.
Come on, that was too much for me. I said, they having too much fun now.
So they introduced Bruce Lee into this movie
As a kid, and
as a little kid.
Itman told him he was a cocky little kid. Come back when he's grown.
How old do you, Angel? Seems like something you would know. Do you know how old Bruce Lee was when he started training?
From all the videos and documentaries I heard, they said he was between that 11 and 15 period.
Okay.
Around that time.
Yeah, because I knew he was young. I knew he wasn't young.
He didn't start like 5 years old like how other kids did. No. But he was within like that time frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let's do our grading. What do you guys give this movie?
Well, I love the first movie, so if I wasn't comparing these two movies, I'd probably give it a better grade. But in comparison, because I just really enjoyed the first one, and I just kind of enjoyed this one, I'd probably just give it a B.
Angel?
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
I was gonna say B.
Yeah, I was too, because I still enjoyed it. Like I said, I don't believe the story happened like this, so I'm not buying that still. Unless we see something that says that this was based on true events or whatever. I'm not honestly not buying it. Just seems like it's just a made up story. But I still enjoyed the movie.
I'm really curious to see because I'm pretty sure our grades are going to go down in the next two, even though they're still decent movies. But I think they just get a little bit more ridiculous the farther we go with these.
Yep.
You're going to start seeing more. You're going to start seeing more line fights. You're going to start seeing more cameos. I know Mike Tyson's in the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, they just start to get a little crazy with them.
Okay.
I wish they would have stuck with the first movie with just the really good fighting and some good storytelling.
Okay.
But it's still a fun series to cover.
Now, the third one, I think we get Mike Tyson. And the fourth one, we get Scott Adkins, I think.
Yeah, Scott Adkins, and I think there's someone else in that one, too.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
What is the next one about?
Sure. I don't know, man, because they got so far off from the story. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's about him establishing his school, but he's going to have some troubles.
Okay.
I saw like a small preview. You know, he's just going to have more people trying to shut him down.
Okay. Now that sounds like something that could, be based on true events.
And I see in the preview, like there was a fire and stuff. So I think somebody lit his whole school on fire and just, all that, just craziness. So probably him fighting just to teach some more.
Okay.
There might be more to it. I mean, there might be a war for all I know. Who knows?
Okay. All right. So we're headed toward Ip Man 3. You know what? I'm enjoying the series.
It is. You know what though? It is a good. Like we haven't found. So far we haven't found one bad movie. We're just saying this was a B because we're comparing it to one. I think if we saw it on its own, probably would have been like a B, A minus, honestly. So at
least a B plus.
Yeah,
because I almost won B minus. I almost won B minus, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. This is a good series.
Yeah, it's not like that other series that you wanted us to keep on going. What was that, American Ninja? You wanted us to keep watching that?
He still wants to finish it.
We have to come back to it eventually. Like I don't.
He still wants to finish it.
It's a table that we left unturned. We have to come back to it eventually.
Oh man, yeah.
When we're running out of movies, we'll just do those as like a good little karate gag. Like we'll just use it as like a little comedy buff. We'll do that.
Okay. All right. I'm cool with it. You guys got anything else? Any closing remarks or anything?
No.
I think this is gonna be our shortest Fist Kicks and Flicks.
No, American Ninja 1 was the shortest.
I'm talking about as far as time. Like we're not at a full hour.
Yeah, no, American Ninja 1, I think we did in 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, because we spent the first 30 talking about our lives in the next 15.
I was gonna say, how long? How about Street Fighter? Because that one was even titled "Everything But Street Fighter." Didn't we just talk about Mortal Kombat in that one?
I think Mortal Kombat was coming out like the next week or so we were just hyped about that.
And the funny thing is, nobody complained.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
I guess we were on something, something true,
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
All right, cool. Wait a minute. Hold up, real quick. Have you guys just because this is gonna tie into kind of like with karate? Have you guys seen the new list that's coming out? I mean, so much stuff has come out in the past 2 weeks about DC and Marvel. Have you guys been keeping up with it?
Yeah.
So if I'm correct,
Gene posts like all of it.
So, right.
Now, Gene, talk to me now. Just to correct me if I'm wrong. Blade is coming out this November or next November?
Next year.
Okay, so Blade and then Daredevil is coming out also, right?
Next year, yes.
Okay, so I think those are two we should probably looking at because they have
Daredevil's the series.
Yeah, Daredevil's a series, and it's not. Most of these. Most of these
fourth
Marvels
in the series.
Yeah.
They're not restarting it as a movie.
No, not Daredevil.
They're continuing the series from Netflix that Netflix botched.
Okay. Well, they haven't 100% confirmed if he is the same. Yes, it is the same guy playing him.
He is. Come on.
But that other Netflix universe, as of right now, could be a multiverse. It could be part of the multiverse.
That's what I thought.
We haven't had 100% confirmation on that yet.
Okay, but
you're about to start a whole new podcast with this crap.
Hey, listen. Me and Gene can get into this. Get into it. Like
I'll get into it too. I do this.
No, we about to get into something else. Joe. I'm looking at Angel's shirt. Now, Angel has on Raw. So this is like the third show that's on the Martial Arts Internet Network shirt that he has. And I haven't had any shirts. Not even for my own damn show. I don't even have a shirt for my own damn show.
Me neither.
You don't have one either. Angel didn't have a Raw shirt. He didn't have CTE. He didn't have Fist Kicks Flicks.
And I got the main one right there. I got 4.
Right. So what's up?
That's the only one I got.
You got beef with Alex and Jeff? Like, how come you got an inside scoop?
Yo, to be real with you, I think Travis has been lying to Jeff and Alex. I think he's just been saying it. I printed out a shirt and he never prints out a shirt. I even got a dog tag. I got a main gang dog tag. And
I want one of those. Where's that at?
Yeah. Yo, it's crazy. I'm telling you, y'all, I'll still never forget when he was like, "Yeah, Jeff, I'm wearing your stuff right now." Like, that was the wildest I've ever heard Travis say something crazy.
About his shirt, the inside scoop shirt?
Yeah, because I wore all this stuff, and Jeff said the same thing. He's like, how come Angel has stuff and I don't? And Trav looked at him and said, "Actually, Jeff, I'm wearing your hoodie right now." And I started dying. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's so cold." Like,
that sounds like Trav. I believe it. That sounds like Trav.
but I'm just saying. I know Blade. I think we should watch. I have a feeling it should have martial arts. I mean, in terms of weapons, it's gonna have that obviously.
Now
I feel like Daredevil was Wing Chun based more. And to be real with you, if I'm correct from when I saw the Netflix series, it was. And then when they come out with another Shang-Chi, we gotta do that.
If we do, Daredevil is going to. Most of these Marvel shows have been like 6 episodes, 6 to 8.
Yeah,
Daredevil is not going to be 6 to 8 episodes. It's going to be 18. It's going to be 18. That's a lot.
They're going farther than Netflix because Netflix only did 13.
Yeah. So yeah.
But that's fine because if we do the Karate Kid with the format, we'll break it down in sections. So we're doing these episodes. If anything, it's good because now it builds suspense for us. We do the first 3 and then we stop. So now we're waiting to watch the next 3 and we come back and talk about the next.
I don't wait.
That's wild. You're crazy.
I don't either, Joe. I don't wait either.
Listen, I can't. I'm gonna watch it all, and then I'm gonna watch it all again.
Exactly. That's the same thing I do with Cobra Kai. I'm gonna watch it that first weekend, the whole thing. I can't watch it.
In fact, I'm probably gonna start season 1 of Cobra Kai this week, just to get back into it.
Yeah, I already started. Yeah, Melissa came in the room, was like, "Again? You watching this again?" I'm like, "Yeah, leave me alone. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not bothering you. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm sitting on the damn couch watching my movie, watching a TV show. You know, I'm not bothering nobody. I'm in my own world. You know, with a smile on my face. You know."
Yeah, no.
All right, so that's it. You guys got anything else?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Cool. So next week, Itmon 3. Everybody out there, stay safe, stay strong. We will holler at you next week. And our new producer, play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.